Dawn cut through broken rooftops, dust clung thick orders sealed in black folder weight, heavier than every rifle we carried. Two identical briefcases weighted, one genuine, one trap. Failure to choose right meant catastrophe, success stained permanent. Radios spat static patterns, precise. Enemy listened close, their silence louder than words, their patience sharper than steel. Grenades rolled stairwells, blasts swallowed air walls, rattled boots thundered, yet our formation held discipline carved in fire. The rooftop erupted in crossfire silhouettes. Outlined smoke curled crimson dust. Blinded chaos pressed us against time. The helicopter shadow broke sky ropes flung wide. Salvation dangled thin. Enemy fire clawed every second, cut shorter. The briefcase locked, passed hand to hand. Inside lay truth, outside lay ghosts. Cost measured not in ink, but in blood. Debriefing stamped pages, red officers detached victory. Hollow silence, heavier than the steel table holding evidence. We left with questions burning. Was it worth the lives? Was intelligence enough to balance scars carved deep within us? The archive sealed case away, but not memory. War moved forward, ghosts lingered, silence carried heavier than truth itself. Dust clung to fractured walls, dawn light spilled faint. We moved in silence, orders sealed, weight pressing heavier than steel. 6 of us leaned from repetition, trained in reconnaissance drills. Yet nothing prepared us for betrayal, stitched into ruined streets. Boots scraped against cracked concrete. Each step timed, measured, breaths matched hum of distant wires, silence tighter than armor. The convoy halted, short vehicles risked no deeper entry. We shouldered packs, radios muted. Only coded pulses flickered once. We moved as one, gestures replacing words, fingers tapped, halt, palms angled, advance. Discipline alone shielded us from chaos. The safe house sat marked on a paper map, red circles blurred by moisture. Coordinates smudged, yet carrying authority undeniable. Our leader carried that folded map beneath his vest, speaking rarely. His stillness anchored us harder than orders ever could. Scars etched on gear, and uniforms patched at knees, shared damage bound us closer, identity forged in wear, not insignia. Mission parameters looked simple, secure the package extract intact, but shadows lived between every single briefing line. At checkpoints we blended with silence, no civilians here, only broken stalls, bicycles abandoned, and windows black as stone. Our overwatch scaled ahead, scope glinting once, silhouette framed in haze, then gone. His watchful eyes pulled us forward unseen. We studied patterns of debris, a bottle misplaced, tire marks too fresh. Small cues betrayed movement, others never noticed. Each man carried carbines, magazines taped in pairs, knives strapped to boots, silent radios pressed against vests like secrets. Masks muffled breath, air reeked of burned plaster, smoke embedded in walls. Violence left fingerprints impossible to scrub away. Success metric was ruthless retrieve. Proof of stockpiles failure meant collapse. Asset gone, trust upstream shattered beyond repair. Our source codename Candle, fragile link in chain. If compromised, months of work dissolved like paper drowned in rain. The streets narrowed, wires swayed like metronomes, counting unseen time, each second sharpening edges of suspicion we carried. Breaching charges weighed heavy, prayed never to use them. Detonation here meant every ear across blocks turning on us. Medic adjusted straps, his pack carried gauze, morphine, and batteries stacked like currency. Silence traded for endurance. Radios checked through glove taps, not sound communication by touch. The city had ears too sharp we refused to feed. Extraction rehearsed in thought alleys, collapsed courtyards, sprint to rooftop pickup zone, every route memorized, none guaranteed. The AO breathed absence, no children, no vendors, only pigeons scattering in bursts, wings echoing hollow across eaves. We wore patches but trusted repetition, more muscle memory commanded, faster than rank instinct, sharper than insignia. Corners held shadows, rifles rose, fingers eased triggers. Curtains twitched half-light above balconies where silence leaned heavy. The package, 2 identical briefcases, subtle marks inside only. Mistake here meant catastrophe, one slip, sealing failure. Watches synced to the second 3-minute window defined our fate: walk out clean or become a note in forgotten reports. Routine silence filled with habits, straps tightened, magazines tapped, eyes tracing cracks in stone nerves wound tight. Every man carried memories, failed missions, unspoken scars, invisible but heavier than gear strapped across shoulders. Graffiti scrawled over warnings, layers blurred, but intent remained. This ground had swallowed others before us, history etched raw. Discipline forged our silence, unease still crept. Even hardened eyes lingered longer on shadows than logic allowed. We were drilled in resets where errors meant repetition, here mistakes carved permanent scars into walls, into bone. Leader raised his gloved hand. We froze, stillness stretched long, ash swept across open street, time suspended, breathless. Through building gaps, fractured walls caught sunlight. Beauty mocking us, reminder of lives erased, a city hollowed silent. We were no heroes, no legends. Only 6 disciplined men gambling truth against survival, weight pressing harder than rifles. Intel briefing ended in silence. Ahead lay the safe house, first decision, waiting cost of information measured in blood. The alley narrowed walls, leaning inward shadows pooled thick, our formation. Compressed silence pressing heavier with each step. Ahead, a broken cart blocked the path, wheels snapped, handles burned. We lifted it aside, dust swirling like smoke. Radios pulsed, faint static, short bursts coded ticks. Anomalies echoed, timing too precise to be natural interference. Overwatch marked rooftop movement curtains, shifted half-beat air, too still for chance. Suspicion sharpened across the squad. We adjusted spacing, 2 men to flanks, 1 rear guard, 1 forward sweep. Discipline spread across collapsing geometry of streets. Footprints layered fresh over old dust tread angles, wrong pointing outwards. Someone had left hurried directions, staged, deliberate. Windows gaped, hollow glass teeth catching weak sun. Broken reflections cut across rifles, every pane hiding possible eyes. The medic whispered nothing, but his hands flexed straps again. Nervous rituals repeating a silent prayer through motion. Our leader tapped once, twice, signal shift formation. Halt, reconfigure, eyes comb higher vantage points where danger lingered. The briefcases weighed heavier in thought than steel, 2 identical shells, only subtle seams would betray the truth. A pigeon burst skyward, wings clapping sharp, our rifles lifted as one, tension cracked louder than the sound itself. The market square lay empty, stalls, overturned fruit crates scattered. The smell of dust and rotting wood choked air. A chair rocked faintly, leg cracked, cloth strap tied to rung too fresh, like someone left seconds before our arrival. We swept the perimeter, boots crunching over glass shards, each fragment snapping like warning shots into the stillness. From a balcony, laundry swayed unnaturally left, right, left, no wind strong enough, only weight pulling cloth in coded rhythm. The Overwatch relayed static bursts, signals repeating every 40 seconds, 2 exact enemy comms disguised as interference. We shifted toward cover, stacking against walls, rifles low, safety clicked, but eyes spoke louder, unease spread silent. The safe house door loomed ahead, splintered frame latch, twisted. Signs of breach, fresh dust, unsettled shadows waiting inside. 2 men flanked stairwell muzzles, tracking angles, others covered rear breaths, shallow, the city watching from every crack. The leader motioned halt, his gloved hand, still frozen mid-air air, heavy with the weight of decisions unspoken. We scanned corners for markers, chalk lines, tied cloth, cigarette ash. None matched known codes, all smelled like traps. A bottle tipped, rolling slow across tiles, hollow rattle bouncing. No hands touched it yet. Momentum carried it near. Radios squawked once, then cut signal, hijacked carrier wave, inserted enemy eyes listening, their silence louder than ours. Our formation split, 2, ascending 2, covering 2, watching rear, every second stretched. Uncertainty wrapped us tighter. On stairwell steps, scuff marks bent outward, footfall heavier than civilian weight, tactical boots pressed into dust. A child's toy lay against wall paint, scraped wheel missing. Innocence abandoned, reminder this ground had been lived. Curtains above snapped once, then still Overwatch marked lens glare, faint but sharp. scope angled down from hidden perch. We ducked beneath balcony shadow barrels. Raised timing mattered 1 second late, meant skyline erupted without warning. The safe house interior loomed dark papers, scattered floor coffee ring stains, recent evidence of meeting broken early. Maps pinned crooked, some ripped ink bled by moisture circles, drawn coordinates, mismatched clues left half-finished. 2 identical briefcases sat side by side, one latch bent, detail too perfect a bait meant to draw decision. Our medic scanned for signs of life silence, absolute, but the air thick, as if walls still remembered arguments. Windows rattled, faint breeze, absent sound, unnatural, like vibrations traveling through metal hidden beneath old beams. We locked sights across thresholds. Tension rose, suspicion confirmed first signs. No longer rumor, danger thick in the room. The leader's nod sealed it. We were inside the trap, first clues revealed, but the true test had only begun. The alley sealed behind vehicles wedged at both ends, enemy unseen yet close, their silence pressing heavier than armored steel. Radios spat bursts of static patterns, too precise carrier waves folded our codes. Proof watchers listened with patient intent. Overwatch caught rooftop glare, scope reflection faint, then gone, but enough to mark an eye tracking every move we made. Rifles lifted together, safeties clicked off, discipline binding us, hearts sinking with breaths, silence sharp as glass. Leader gestured, stacked 2 covered flanks, 1 rear, 1 forward, sweep angles, locked formation, welded by ritual repetition. Curtains shifted twice, fabric swayed without wind. Unnatural rhythm, a signal staged, deliberate suspicion sharpened its teeth. The safe house breathed unease, maps, scattered floor footprints, layered fresh evidence of intruders lingering only hours before. A briefcase latch bent outward, glinting wrong under weak light detail, staged too perfect a trap, disguised as negligence. The medic's hands flexed, straps, gloves pulling taut. His silence screamed louder than words. Tension wound through every motion. Across the courtyard, doors creaked once, then froze, noise, hollow intentional bait designed to fracture our focus wide. We pivoted, sharp barrels sweeping arcs, eyes combing balconies, every darkened corner, a suspect, each shadow weighted threat. The square hung still, pigeons, absent dust caught mid-air, emptiness, pressed heavier than presence, silence grinding on nerves. Scout halted, boot pointing, scuff in tile cut deep wrong direction. Tread military pattern fresh within the hour. Breath rasped dry beneath masks, shallow and quick. Discipline warred against instinct, triggers begged for release. 2 figures flickered rooftop edge, then melted away, enough proof enemy eyes mapped us, patience sharpening their trap. Extraction route, narrowed alleys collapsed with trash glass, scattered breadcrumbs laid deliberate to bait our retreat paths. Radios whined, tone piercing, exact every 40 seconds. Enemy jamming, pulsed clear contact. Inevitable control bleeding away. Leaders nod, decisive block exits, secure courtyard, deny encirclement before jaws of trap snapped fully closed. Barricades scraped stone wood, dragged harsh enemy unseen but deliberate, their noise designed to shake our rhythm. A single shot cracked, distant ricochet sparked wall warning. Only test of range precision mapped us to grid. Overwatch returned, fire balcony shattered lens, glare gone, at least 1 enemy eye silenced in fractured glass. Dust rained, ceiling timbers groaned, enemy boots thundered above, sound heavy thunder rolling inside hollow bones. Rifles overlapped arcs, every blind covered trust bound tighter than straps, formation fused by years of drill. Flare hissed. Skyward smoke bled crimson, enemy announced phase shift. Ambush escalated to full encirclement. Comms drowned in static voices, erased only hand signs, left silent. Trust became language entire of survival. Shadows cut across alleys, rifles glinted faint, half-seen movement, shredded nerves sharper than bullets striking stone. We countered controlled bursts, suppressive arcs, carving walls, stone-chipped echoes, thundered chaos balanced by discipline. Rooftop fire traced streaks, red lines burned dusk cover, shrank tighter walls, cracked under rain of steel. Courtyard cloaked haze, smoke tangled with dust shapes, blurred into ghosts, danger everywhere. no direction free. Scout flagged stairwell silhouette, broke light enemy slipping ground-level contact, closing sharp into our perimeter. Grenade clinked, stone rolled toward us, reflex pinned it corner, flash ripped air, muffled blast, swallowed by rubble. Ears rang, hollow vision, blurred white, still formation held tight, instinct anchoring hands steady through chaos. Medic hauled comrade clear gloves, scraped dust gear, rattled routine, masked fear, repetition, disguised, trembling breath. Boots thundered closer, walls rattled in waves. Enemy pressed heavier rifles, cracked sharp reply through haze. Balcony frame shattered shards rained down, each fragment glittering blood red under fading sun. Flank spotted muzzle flash, stitched controlled fire rounds, carved brick, silence collapsed. Sudden threat paused. Rooftop erupted again. Fire-coordinated tempo rising fast. Rhythm like drumbeat of war across concrete skin. Courtyard corners sparked bullets. Ricochet sharp crossfire boxed us tight, escape lines shrinking with every burst. We popped smoke clouds, thick vision carved away, confusion spread, equal deception, our only fragile ally. Overwatch flagged, heat signature shift, enemy regroup, stairwell, side, closing choke, deliberate, precise, slow. Barricade splintered, sudden wood, screamed doors, crashed wide, silhouettes poured inside, disciplined waves advancing. Rifles answered, brass cascaded arcs, overlapped formation, pivoted, seamless fire, sharp, disciplined, unbroken. Medic crouched low, bandaged fast, his hands steady though. Breath-ragged eyes locked, unblinking through haze. Silence fractured by final burst, enemy recoil, broke momentum, stalled. Their wave staggered against walls of fire. Leader's raised hand sealed it. We would not retreat, not yield our stand, carved discipline back from chaos. The rooftop landing zone stretched open, faded paint, cracked tar, scattered with debris, sky above promising either rescue or death. Our lungs burned. Climbing the stairwell steps, fractured rails twisted, every echo a countdown, pushing us closer to confrontation. Radios drowned in static, every channel blocked enemy interference, thick, leaving only gestures, nods, silent trust binding us. A flare burst across the horizon, painting the sky red. Proof the opposition tightened their net around our path. Windows shattered along the alley, muzzles pushed forward. Enemy fire sparked shards, showered our formation, staggered but held. Rifles answered in bursts, controlled stone, splintered shadows withdrew, the city cracked under the duel of violence and order. Smoke swirled low, stairwell choked our advance, slowed eyes, straining through shifting haze, searching for silhouettes hidden near. The leader raised his fist, command clear, halt, regroup, adjust arcs, no wasted fire, discipline remained absolute. A briefcase glimmered under fractured light latch marked this was the genuine one, evidence heavier than all our gear. Enemy boots thundered above, stairwell, trembled, plaster rained their push descending fast, intent sharp and undeniable. A grenade rolled downward, metallic clink echoing reflex, kicked it back. Blast swallowed above, screams cut short. The medic shielded his comrade, hands steady, gauze pressed firm, morphine injected, discipline stronger than fear itself. Overwatch fired from the rooftop, target fell silent. Body struck the courtyard, echo hollow like a broken drum. Our path tightened, barricades stacked, high trash bins, overturned wood nailed, rough enemy buying seconds to regroup. We breached quick charges, set blast ripped wide, smoke curled outward, entry. Carved momentum dragged us forward. Inside the corridor, documents burned, maps, smoldered evidence erased by hands retreating too quickly to finish. The briefcase seized lid, inspected, hidden marker intact. False case, abandoned decoy, confirmed trap sprung around us. Courtyard erupted with fire, enemy unleashed full barrage, bullets traced red arcs, our cover shredded to splinters. We dropped low rifles, disciplined, controlled bursts, cutting through chaos, silence shattered by storm of steel. Rooftop glow revealed the landing zone, hope above exposed and dangerous salvation waiting through open sky. Stairwell groaned under weight boots, doubled enemy pressed from below, choke point closing fast, time bleeding thin. Smoke grenade hissed, thick veil rose, vision blurred silhouettes. warped advantage leveled inside haze of confusion. Rifles cracked sharp rounds, struck steel, ricochet sparks lit stairwell walls. Enemy advance echoed closer. Scout flanked right barrel sweeping, shadow collapsed with one shot. Silence regained a single heartbeat. Rooftop air whipped, violent wind carried sound helicopter blades. Faint promise of extraction, humming stronger. Enemy poured across opposite rooftop silhouettes, sharp rifles raised crossfire imminent over exposed distance. We rolled left, cover behind, ductwork, metal groaned under weight. Bullets punched holes through thin skin. Leader gestured, suppressed 3 rifles, cut arcs, enemy staggered bodies, crumpled formation, shattered under fire. The medic dragged case forward, straps tearing briefcase, heavy information inside worth more than our lives combined. Rooftop shook, sudden rotor wash, grew dust, spiraled, eyes stung, helicopter blades sliced horizon wide. Enemy launched rocket, white smoke trail, split sky detonation. Burst short tail, survived steel frame rattled. Door gun thundered from helicopter rounds, stitched roof, enemy scattered bodies, hurled into concrete dust. Heat and smoke mingled, chaos roared, yet hope grew. Machine shadow stretched long across burning skyline. We sprinted forward. Boots hammered steel, every stride warred between exhaustion and the will to live. Enemy surged one last time. Silhouettes, reckless rifles spat sparks. Desperation clawed for final strike. Overwatch cut left, muzzle flashed. Precise enemy collapsed, frozen against skyline in silhouette of defeat. Rotor wash tore roof open, ropes flung wide, lines swayed in violent air, salvation dangling thin above. One by one we clipped in harness, locked hands, white-knuckled hearts racing, ground fire roaring beneath. Briefcase passed last. Leader clutched firm evidence, sealed mission success, balanced on fraying rope above chaos. Helicopter lifted, city shrank, smoke curled, enemy fire dimmed, cost of intelligence burned heavy in silence, carried skyward. The helicopter cut across smoke rotors, thundering city shrank beneath us, broken rooftops glowing faint in fading dusk. Silence pressed inside the cabin, only rotor hum remained. Every man stared outward, eyes clouded with weight unspoken. The briefcase lay between boots, scratched metal, reflecting light evidence, heavy more than steel, heavier than breath itself. The medic checked his comrade again, hands steady, gauze-stained morphine gone, discipline, masking tremor in his chest. Our leader sat still, shoulders rigid, his grip locked on the case, face unreadable, silence harder than stone. Wind tore through open doors, smoke smell carried high, city's violence clung to us, refusing to release its hold. No words rose, only glances, traded questions, unspoken answers, buried trust, holding fragile against hollow air. The skyline bled red behind us, sun dying. Slow light faded, leaving nothing but shadow across our faces. We carried victory, but not triumph, success carved in silence, scars weighed heavier than proof inside the steel box. The helicopter tilted right, clouds cut open, distant fires flickered below, reminders burning steady as scars. Brass casings still clung to boots, rattling faint echoes of rooftop battle whispering inside the metal shell. Our hearts slowed, rhythm fractured, discipline, masked exhaustion, yet fear lingered sharp beneath armor of routine. The case sat sealed, numbers scratched across, locked truth, hidden inside cost, carved into every man aboard. A helmet rolled in corner visor, cracked reminder of impact, survived a ghost of seconds nearly lost. Blood dried on gloves, stiff and sharp, hands clenched, straps harder, silence pressed deeper, memory unrelenting. The medic's eyes drifted, staring beyond his hands, still moved, but his mind stayed behind with dust and smoke. The leader finally exhaled, breath harsh sound, louder than rotors, proof even steel men bent under weight. The city vanished beneath horizon, replaced by barren dark, yet absence of enemy felt heavier than their fire. Every face carried same shadow, same question. Was it worth it? What had been bought? What had been lost? The helicopter rattled, frame shuddered, machine groaned, but we held silence, refusing to break under mechanical scream. The medic secured final bandage tape, torn gesture routine, yet his eyes betrayed storms he refused to show. The briefcase gleamed cold, untouched inside, lay truth outside, sat ghost's weight, neither balance nor victory. Dust still clung to uniforms etched in seams, city followed us upward, memories pressed into every thread. Our rifles leaned aside, barrels scarred metal, spoke of fire, endured silence, screamed of blood spilled unseen. The leader's hand brushed case lock, then still his gaze met ours, no words, only burden shared. The rotor beat steady monotone, each cycle hammered truth deeper rhythm like a dirge across sky. Shadows stretched across faces, light-cut thin eyes, hollow lips, tight minds drowning in echoes unvoiced. The night horizon opened wide, stars faint above us, silence eternal beneath us, scars of city burning. No cheers, no triumph, only survival, victory tasted bitter. Memory, carved sharp silence, became our only companion. The helicopter carried us away, but not free inside. Briefcase lay intelligence inside us remained the cost. The debriefing room stood silent. Fluorescent lights buzzed low walls, white air, heavy silence, thicker than spoken words. The briefcase rested on steel table scratches, visible evidence intact, yet its presence felt heavier than its weight. Our leader placed a gloved hand on the case fingers, rigid. His silence said more than any report could write. Papers slid forward, pens poised, officers waited for answers, eyes cold, their judgment sharper than battlefield steel. We sat rigid, backs straight, uniforms torn, dust still clung, blood-faint scars etched into cloth and skin alike. The air smelled of paper and ink, not smoke, yet the battlefield followed us here, woven into every breath. Our words were few details, exact shots fired, bodies moved, markers noted, silence filled gaps we refused to touch. Officers stamped pages, ink-heavy decisions sealed in red. Each thud echoed like distant artillery rolling through memory. The medic's gloves lay folded fabric, stiff with dried blood, reminder of hands that saved yet could not save all. A clock ticked above seconds, dragging time moved steady here, but in our minds it still shattered. The case opened slow, locks clicked inside, lay files, photographs, numbers, truth cold, detached, clinical in weight. No cheer met the discovery, only silence. Victory had no sound, only consequence, pressing like stone. Eyes lingered on photographs, grainy images of stockpiles, confirmation earned, but at a cost measured in shadows. The leader's report was brief, exact coordinates, confirmed mission, achieved losses noted without flourish. Our hands clenched, knees muscles tight. Stillness masking tremor. Discipline covering fractures carved deep. The room colder than battlefield walls, sterile. Yet here the war continued, etched in words, not bullets. Every signature sealed facts, yet none erased memories. Truth captured on paper, ghosts roaming free in silence. The officers nodded once, detached intelligence secured, but their eyes avoided ours, cost too obvious. We left the room, boots striking floor, echoes hollow, each step heavier than the last burden carried forward. Corridors stretched, long fluorescent light, harsh our reflections trailed in glass faces, strangers even to ourselves. The medic lagged behind, gaze unfocused, his hands clean, but his mind still stained with rooftop dust. Our leader walked silent, briefcase clutched, steel box, heavier than stone, its weight chained to his arm. Outside, night pressed, calm stars faint above. Yet silence mocked us, city's scars followed even here. Smoke still lingered in our lungs, phantom taste. No amount of clean air erased fire we had breathed. No celebration, waited only quiet mission marked complete. Yet hearts carved, hollow burden shared, but unspoken. In darkness, we carried questions. Was it worth the price? Was the truth within enough to justify the loss? Our eyes met, once bond, unspoken brothers, forged in silence, scarred by memory, united by weight of survival. The case disappeared into archives, locked away, yet the real record remained inside us, etched in bone. Silence stretched as we walked the mission behind us, yet its shadow walked beside, refusing release. The war moved forward, orders would come again, our questions unanswered, our ghosts unburied, our silence sealed.